It's Friday, October 5. Good afternoon. I'm Herman Green with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching online at onespotmedia.com. A suspected serial rapist has been named as a person of interest in Manchester, but the Manchester police say they are unable to press charges just yet as he is in custody in another parish on other rape allegations. The details in this report. 6 rape cases, but only one man named as a person of interest. The Manchester police identified Demar Scott as a person of interest despite his arrest in St. James. Speaking at a Manchester Chamber of Commerce meeting on Thursday, head of the Manchester Police, Superintendent Wayne Cameron, said preparations are being made for Mr. Scott to be turned over to the Manchester Police. Once this is done, Mr. Scott will be placed on an identification parade for the rape cases in Manchester.
The first one, April 11, so we're out in Hatfield, a 31-year-old female. She was followed home in a taxi and subsequently raped by an armed man. And in this incident of rape and grievous assault, we think that Mr. Scott can assist us in this particular endeavor.
The second incident took place on April 23, 2017, where Mr. Scott allegedly followed 2 females home in a taxi before raping them. On April 30 that year, he allegedly raped a 16-year-old student after dragging her into bushes near the Nashville bus park.
May in 2017, and this one on the compound of the Municipal Baptist Church. We spoke about that particular location numerous times here. 17-year-old female, again, she was there with a male partner, and they were attacked by a lone man with a gun who chased away the male and raped the female in nearby bushes there. The 5th one, this one, the 15th of May 2017, about 10 p.m., again on the Municipal Baptist Church compound, 17-year-old student. She too was there with a male partner when a lone man armed with a machete held them up, robbed them, and then dragged the female into bushes and raped her.
He says the final attack was on Main Street in Mandeville, where a 15-year-old student was dragged into bushes and raped. Superintendent Cameron says Mr. Scott was first named as a person of interest in a Facebook post on March 2. However, he was held in connection with the rape of 2 American tourists at gunpoint at the Rio Reggae Hotel in St. James on September 27. The Office of the Public Defender is concerned an emergency powers review tribunal has not been named for the state of public emergency in the Corporate area. In declaring the state of public emergency on September 23, Prime Minister Andrew Holness disclosed that he had already made his selections for the panel. However, he said the Chief Justice had still not made his selections. Speaking on RJR's call-in program Hotline yesterday, Public Defender Arlene Harrison Henry also lamented that conditions for detainees under the state of public emergency have not improved.
The process of taking up young men from communities has not changed. The circumstances and conditions under which they are held, those have not changed. The $300 per day for 3 meals for each adult man has not changed. All that has happened is more and more persons have come into custody and process release.
Charges are yet to be laid against 4 persons arrested in connection with one of 2 gun finds at 2 ports in Kingston on Wednesday and Thursday. The police high command is undertaking a top-level investigation into the seizure of 26 guns and 640 rounds of ammunition. Head of the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, CTOC, Assistant Commissioner Fitz Bailey, said the police have been tightening arms trafficking at the ports.
Recently, we arrested in excess, I think it was 17 members of a gang in Western Kingston, in Westmoreland rather. And that arrest and investigation actually originated from a seizure that actually took place at one of our wharves.
ACP Bailey was speaking on TVJ's primetime news last night. A man is dead and 2 others hospitalized following a shooting incident in Mountain Valley, St. Elizabeth this morning. The dead man has been identified as 19-year-old Omaria Ross, a tattoo artist of the Hayes address in Kingston, in Clarendon. About 1:30, Mr. Ross, his brother, and another man were inside a house when gunmen posing as police knocked on the door. After opening the door, the occupants of the house were robbed and shot.
We are getting some information and we are working on them, and we are just asking the family and the community to be patient and to call the Black River CIB or the Santa Cruz Police with any additional information that may be available. We want to get to the bottom of this in the shortest possible time to bring relief to the community and to reassure our policing activities as well as our citizens.
President of the Union of Clerical, Administrative and Supervisory Employees, UCASE, Vincent Morrison, says he's made some progress this morning in getting a meeting to resolve the labor dispute at the Mandela Highway Improvement Project. Jamaican workers have stayed off the job again today as they continue their push for better working conditions. After several failed attempts to get the management of China Harbour Engineering Company, CHEC, to meet with the workers to settle the issues, Mr. Morrison says the site engineer this morning agreed to have dialogue.
I hope that they'll call us so that we can sit down and, like intelligent, sensible people, reasonable people, sit down and look at the issues and resolve. Wages is one. The issue of respect to the workers, how they treat the workers. Then the whole question of health and safety issues, the pay slips. You can't have the workers working here and, them don't even get pay slips.
There has been unrest at the CHEC road improvement site since last year as Jamaican workers complain about lack of protective gear and poor treatment, among other things. Since yesterday, the unions have even written to the Labour Ministry and the Prime Minister's office to intervene. TVJ News understands that a wage dispute has interrupted normal operations at the University of the West Indies-based News Talk 93 FM. The station has been periodically off air throughout the day. TVJ News has been informed that workers are upset and are taking protest action over the non-payment of salaries for the past 3 months. The managing director did not want to comment on the matter, but told our news center he would issue a release soon. The St. Catherine Municipal Corporation is threatening legal action for persons who do not take up the current building and subdivision amnesty. The amnesty is intended to address the recurring problem of building code violations at commercial and residential establishments. TVJ's Krista Campbell has the details.
Building code violations have been a long-standing issue faced by local authorities. So, a month ago, the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation decided to launch a building and subdivision amnesty.
This is for persons who have built without the approval of the local authority. We're giving you the opportunity now to submit their building and subdivision plans and get them approved.
Chief Executive Officer at the corporation, Andre Griffiths, says the amnesty will run from September 1 to December 31 this year, and it will not be extended. He says he's disappointed that so far only a few persons have been taking up the offer.
At the end of December, we will be applying the full force of the law to persons who have not used the amnesty in the way they should have. Under the Town and Country Planning Act, each individual could be charged up to $5,000 per day while the building breach continues. So we'll be preparing notices and carrying individuals to court and have the court resolve these issues.
Krista Campbell, TVJ News.
A lack of communication between the government and the private sector entities is being blamed for a number of recurring issues in St. James. According to Mayor of Montego Bay, Homer Davis, while the growth of business is good for the parish, in most instances, the municipal corporation is not appropriately informed about new businesses and so cannot adequately plan for them.
Because I know that there's a lot of activities taking place in the form of transportation, in the form of overcrowding in some areas of the city, in the form of informal settlement as a result of the influx of persons coming into the city to seek employment.
He insists that both sectors must meet periodically to plan. A committee is also being established in the parish, which he says will report to his office to advise on planning.
Because these are happenings that has an effect on the city's infrastructure. Transportation, roads, sewage, garbage, water. It has an impact. So we need to sit as a body, and as I said, I'm putting this body together, that we can sit where we can be on the same page.
Despite increasing concerns about the primary exit profile PEP exams, the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, is encouraging parents not to worry. The recently released results from the National Pilot Performance Task Exam administered in June showed a weak performance from students in most areas. This forced the Ministry of Education to push back the PEP exam slated for December this year to March 2019. Speaking on TVJ's Smile Jamaica program this morning, JTA President Garth Anderson said the teachers will be more involved in setting the examination.
The Ministry of Education, as part of the agreement, we have decided to set up a monitoring committee, and that committee has certain responsibilities. We're going to look at questions, we're going to look at the difficulty levels of the questions, we're going to look at the structure of the examination, and we're going to have conversation on the entire implementation and give feedback. And that committee has representatives from the Jamaica Teachers Association and will also have representatives of teachers from the regular teachers in the classroom to come. Teachers also will be asked to submit questions for the examinations.
He added that the teachers are also more comfortable with the new date for the exams.
Teachers, students, and indeed parents will have a little more time to gel with the curriculum. Students will have a little more time to practice and prepare themselves. We must never forget our teachers are so committed. Our teachers embrace the curriculum. All they're asking for is a little more time and guidance to help them to fully grasp what is there so that they can guide their students.
The Med Services has extended the flash flood watch for low-lying and flood-prone areas of all parishes until 5 o'clock this afternoon. This as the broad area of low pressure over the Western Caribbean continues to produce unstable weather conditions across Jamaica and surrounding waters. The island should continue to experience mostly cloudy conditions with periods of showers and thunderstorms today and tomorrow. There may also be gusty winds. Fishers and other marine interests are advised to be extra careful. CARICOM has adopted the Jamaica Moves initiative, which is being spearheaded by the Ministry of Health. The initiative has been dubbed Caribbean Moves. Speaking at the CARICOM meeting in New York recently, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said that the regional approach is being looked at as a measure to prevent rather than cure lifestyle and non-communicable diseases.
This approach, to be clear, is not intended to replace existing initiatives in each territory, as every country has its own initiatives that have had some impact, but instead to speak with one voice under one brand and to support each other in a spirit of partnership.
And we go on to sports. Jamaica's Reggae Girls are counting down the hours ahead of taking the field against CONCACAF giants Canada in Group B of the Women's Championship in Texas in the United States. The Jamaicans are hoping a good start against the Canadians will take them a step closer to the FIFA Women's World Cup in France next year. Karen Madden has the details.
It will be world number 64 against world number 5 when the Reggae Girls, fresh from their jobbing of their Caribbean neighbors, take on the Canadians on Friday. But that will be mere statistics when the Reggae Girls run out at the Hep Park Stadium in Edinburgh, Texas. We caught up with assistant coach Andrew Price ahead of the team's departure early Sunday morning.
Well, we are quietly optimistic about doing well at the CONCACAF final round. It's our intention to try and qualify for the World Cup in France in 2019. And I believe that with the balanced squad that we have, with age and experience and some youthfulness, I believe that we'll be able to navigate the round and get into the semi-finals. That is our first goal.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Herman Green. Join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.